Welcome everyone to the 2024 Backstage with Her Stories. We're so happy that you all gave up a little bit of your time on Saturday morning to join us. We started this program in 2019 and we were hoping to do it annually, but then of course 2020 came, and with COVID and the years after, it was a little difficult to do that. So we're so thankful to Englewood Health for hosting us again and having this program today. So I hope you enjoy the program. It will be a wonderful event for everyone to hear the stories of our three wonderful speakers. At this time, I'd like to introduce our welcome address by our board chair, Dr. Peggy Park, and Mi Kyung-jae, Executive Director and President.
Good morning and welcome to our second Backstage with Her Stories. Thank you so much for joining us today. Like Julie said, our first one was held in 2019. It took us 5 years to bring it back, but we're so excited to be back in this beautiful space and to present to you three amazing women this morning. We have Ellen Park, Mia Yoon, and Cecilia Popes, and they will be sharing their stories with us and their service to the community. Their stories will be accompanied by beautiful music by our beautiful and talented Na-young Baek, and with her 7 also beautiful and talented musicians. We have 5 adult musicians and 3 young musicians performing today as well.
안녕하세요. 처음부터 영어로 막 진행이 됐는데, 자, 저희가 2019년 6월 1일 같은 날 세러데이에 Backstage with Her Story를 시작을 했습니다. 코로나의 긴 터널을 뚫고서 저희가 4년 만에 이 자리로 돌아왔습니다. 우리 같이 박수 한번 할까요? 감사합니다. AWCA가 이 프로그램을 만든 이유는 정말 각 분야에서 어려움을 뚫고 훌륭하게 자기 삶을 살아가고 있는 리더들을 초대해서 그들의 숨은 얘기를 나누고 또 그분들이 좋아하는 음악을 정상급 음악인들이 연주하는 것을 함께 하면서 여러분들에게 힐링 타임도 좀 드리고 또 많은 분들이 볼런티어리즘, 봉사 정신에 대해서 생각해 보는 시간을 갖고자 해서 이 프로그램을 만들었습니다. 3분의 연사 여러분 그리고 8분의 음악인들한테 감사를 드리고요. 무엇보다 저희가 이런 프로그램을 하는 데는 잉그루드 병원에 많은 도움이 있었습니다. 그래서 이 시간 프로그램은 없지만 저희가 서프라이즈 이벤트를 하나 했습니다.
So it's not in the program, but we just wanted to take just a few moments to have a quick surprise introduction of Englewood Health, whose support has been immense through the many, many years. Without their support, we really wouldn't be able to do a lot of the programs that we do. So if we can have just a couple of the Englewood Health representatives who are here to come up for just a brief presentation. I see Alicia Park, who's Vice President and Chief Communications Officer, who has been instrumental in helping us get this program together.
네, 잉그루드 병원하고 AWCA가 한인 사회의 건강한 생활을 위해서 2012년부터 파트너십을 맺어서 같이 하고 있습니다. 감사합니다. 자, 플래그를.
So yeah, we have been in partnership with Englewood Hospital since 2012. Englewood Hospital has been wonderful in implementing Korean community health and wellness, and we are so thankful. Thank you, Alicia Park. She is VP and Chief Communications Officer of Englewood Hospital. So thank you.
AWCA presents the Heart of Appreciation to Englewood Health for their dedicated service to the Korean community through partnerships focused on health and wellness since 2012.
I love AWCA. I'm so surprised right now, and I'm really the behind-the-scenes person. I have to really give a lot of credit to our Korean Center here at the hospital. They really help the community connect to healthcare, to self-care, to early screenings, education, and I really admire these 3 women here and the 3 women we're about to listen to for the program for all of their leadership in our community, and I think we have to keep going.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Alicia Park and Englewood Health again.
저희가 이제 지금부터 본격적인 프로그램에 들어가 보도록 하겠습니다.
So we'll start our program with our first speaker, Ms. Ellen Park, Assemblywoman, New Jersey District 37.
오늘의 첫 번째 연사를 소개합니다. 뉴저지 주 하원 의원이신 엘렌 팍 의원을 스테이지로 모시겠습니다. 여러분 박수로 맞이해 주세요.
Hi everyone. 안녕하세요. 제 이름은 엘렌 박 주하원 의원입니다. So I have a speech, but before I go, I just want to say District 37 is Fort Lee, Englewood, Englewood Cliffs, Leonia, Richfield Park, Palisades Park, and Bogota. So please know that if you're in District 37, please reach out to me if you need any assistance when it comes to the state of New Jersey. 그래서 거기 사신다면은 우리 뉴저지 주에서 도와줄 수 있으면은 우리 사무실한테 꼭 연락드리세요. 그럼 우리가 도와드릴게요. Well, good morning, everyone. Yeah, good morning. It's an honor to be here with you today to do one of my favorite things, which is to encourage others to get civically involved. That goes double for women, triple for Asian American women. I have the privilege of being the first and only Korean American woman in the New Jersey State Legislature. However, it is a little lonely being the only one. I would love if other AAPI women would join me in the State House. We need more AAPI, not only in the State House, but in all aspects of public office, throughout government, from your town clerk's office to the front office in Trenton. We have a unique perspective, a unique voice, and a unique ability to work collaboratively to get things done. We all do better when we are all represented. My parents brought me from Korea to the United States when I was 6 years old. After overcoming the language barrier, I studied hard through school, college, and eventually law school. I had no idea that the path would then lead me into the life of public service. I wanted to be a lawyer because growing up in an immigrant community in the 1980s, I learned justice was different meaning for different people. I learned that there were degrees of justice and that depending where you lived, what type of job you have, how much money you have, could be determining factors on the amount. I was really learning about the power of government for good or for bad. I was learning about the impact of laws, good or bad, on the people of this country. It made me appreciate how important it was to have thoughtful, compassionate, service-minded people making the laws that we live by. The opposite of Donald Trump. Someone who has never sacrificed himself for the greater good. Someone who has never even cared to imagine himself in the other person's situation. Now, apart from being a lawyer, wife, mother of 2 boys, I started in politics in 2016 by running for and winning a seat on my local town council in Englewood Cliffs. This was the same year Donald Trump won the presidency. And an act by our nation that made it even more important to be involved as a woman, as an immigrant, in our local government. National politics may feel out of reach, but it may feel out of control, but it is amazing how impactful we can be on the state and local level. The things we do here often have a great father effect in our daily lives than the laws passed or not passed in Washington, D.C. After a term as a councilwoman, I ran for and won a seat in the State Assembly in 2021, making me the first East Asian woman to hold position in the history of the state. Since then, I sponsored and helped pass legislation for the betterment of New Jerseyans, like capping co-payments or co-insurance of life-saving drugs, such as insulin at $35 per 30-day supply. Epinephrine auto-injectors devices are capped at $25 for a 30-day supply. And asthma inhalers are $50 capped per 30-day supplies. I also passed legislation not allowing guns in public gatherings such as arenas, churches, and bars. The Language Access Bill, which mandates state agencies providing direct services to offer translation and interpretation in the 7 most common non-English languages spoken in New Jersey, which are currently Spanish, Mandarin, Cantonese, Korean, of course, Guathari, and Portuguese. We also passed recognizing November 23rd as Kimchi Day in the state of New Jersey. We also, first time designating the first moon of the first month of the lunar calendar as Lunar New Year in New Jersey. So we need these laws, we need to be represented, and that's really why I'm down at the state representing all of you guys. So, you know, while I'm the only first Korean American to serve in the New Jersey State House, I know I'll be far from the last. Our little corner of northern New Jersey has one of the fastest growing Korean communities anywhere in the United States. And with all the recent legislation we passed in New Jersey to promote inclusion and invest in diversity, our community standing in the state will only grow stronger each successive generation, making it certain that our State House won't be just one representative from this background, but that one day it'll be full of diverse voices for every community, every gender, every cultural heritage from across the state. I'm really looking forward to this date. And I just want to thank you so much for letting me have this opportunity to be here with you this morning. So thank you so much. 감사합니다.
네,
열심히
감사합니다.
하겠습니다.
Thank you, Ellen. She's my neighbor.
Thank you so much.
우리 엘렌 의원님께서 하신 일이 정말 많죠. 네, 11월 23일이 김치데이인 걸 몰랐던 것 같은데 기억하세요? 다시 한번 우리 응원의 박수를 부탁드립니다.
wanted to let you guys know that each of the music selections, the speakers chose themselves. That's the music that they wanted to be played after their speeches. So it's extra special to have personalized music.
Yes. 여기에 연주되는 음악은 지금 첫 번째 연사로 엘렌 의원님이 나오셨잖아요. 그래서 엘렌 의원님이 좋아하는 음악을 리퀘스트 하셔가지고 저희가 연주한 겁니다. 모든 연주가 그렇습니다. 오늘 기억해 주세요. 네.
Our next speaker will do an interview style with our executive director and president. It's Mia Yoon, who is a long-time AWCA board member. She was also a former board chair. She's given countless hours of service to AWCA as well as her church and her community. She is a role model for philanthropy, volunteerism, and just community service. So Mia, would you please come up?
네, 두 번째 연사를 소개해드리겠습니다. 미아윤 지금 스테이지로 올라오고 계신데요. AWC의 가장 현직 오래된 이사이자 전직 AWC의 이사회 또 의장을 지내셨습니다. 우리 오랫동안 25년째 봉사를 하고 계십니다. 미아윤을 모시겠습니다. 여기 앉으세요. 이번 순서는 저희가 혼자서 하지 않고 이렇게 인터뷰 스타일로 한번 해보겠습니다. 우선 우리 미아윤 이사님께서 자기 소개를 좀 해주세요.
안녕하세요. 윤미옥입니다.
좀 더 면면하셨고
예, 윤미옥이고요. 또 제 소개를 하자면 제가 뉴저지에서 지난 38년을 살았고요. 지금은 세마이 리타이어 한 상태에서 이제 이사를 갔어요. 멀지 않은 노스베일이라는 타운으로 이사를 갔습니다.
네. 자, 두 번째 제가 질문 드릴 건데 그렇게 이제 봉사를 많이 하셨는데 AWC하고 어떻게 처음에 연결이 되셨나요?
4분의 1 색이라 그러나요? 예. 2000년도에 AWC에서 AWCA 이전에 YWCA로 활동을 하고 있었습니다. 그런데 2000년부터 AWCA라는 명칭으로 한인 커뮤니티에 더 봉사를 하기 위해서 명칭을 바꿨을 때 6월 달이었어요. 24년 전 오늘 이사회에 초대를 받아서 가게 됐습니다. 지인의 전화로 내려와서 같이 점심을 먹고 사람을 이제 좋은 분들을 소개시켜 주겠다고 해서 간 것이 예전에 포트리 메인스트리트에 있는 조그마한 교회에서 AWC에서 미팅을 하고 있었어요. 그때 제가 첫 발을 들여놓게 되었습니다.
네. 그래서 주로 무슨 일을 하셨어요?
처음에는 봉사단체인 줄 모르고 찾아간 곳에서 제가 제 자리를 못 찾았어요. 도대체 무엇을 해야 될까 하고 고민을 하고 한 1년 반이라는 세월이 흘렀습니다. 그러다가 계기가 있었어요. 2001년에 월스트리트 트윈 빌딩이 폭격을 당했잖아요. 그 무렵에 저희 어머니가 갑자기 돌아가시게 됐어요. 그러면서 AWC에서 이제 프로그램이 있는데 한번 와서 해보지 않겠느냐고 하셔가지고 그러면은 제가 무엇을 할까요 하다가 요가 클래스를 했었습니다. 지금은 체어 요가가 아주 유행이죠.
네.
그때는 없었어요. 근데 제가 선구자였어요. 제가 체어 요가를 시니어들을 대상으로 하기 시작했었습니다. 굉장히 인기가 있었어요. 그래서 프로그램을 하고 보니까는 자신감이 생기고 이런 것들을 좋아하시고 또 이런 것이 도움이 되는구나 이분들 삶에. 그러다가 보니까 또 영어 프로그램이 있었어요. 시니어들을 위한 영어 프로그램에 선생님이 봉사자가 모자란다고 없다고 해서 제가 또 투입이 되었습니다. 그래서 영어를 가르치고 또 한글도 가르치게 됐어요. 왜 그러냐면은 예전에 아주 나이 많으신 분들은 학교를 다니시지 않은 분들이 많았어요. 그래서 한글 이름도 쓰지 못하시는 분이 있어서 한글도 가르치고 기초 영어도 하고 또 요가 클래스도 하고 그러다 보니까 제가 AWC에서 제가 할 일이 많이 있다는 것을 알게 되었습니다.
네, 만약에 AWC에서 그렇게 봉사 활동을 하지 않으셨다면 혹시 삶에 무슨 변화가 좀 있었을까요?
AWCA가 없었다면은 제 삶이 너무 밋밋했을 것 같아요. 그냥 옆집에 누구 엄마, 누구의 부인, 누구의 언니, 동생 그렇게 살았을 텐데 제가 AWCA를 통해서 많은 봉사를 그때 하기 시작했습니다. 아이들을 키우면서 바빴지만 그 바쁜 가운데 시간을 쪼개시면서 어떻게 시간을 활용해야 되는 법도 알게 되었고요. 그냥 평범했었을 것 같은데 그 시간들이 참 중요하고 제 삶에 있어서 굉장히 풍요로웠던 시간이었던 것 같아요.
네, 이렇게 봉사 활동이 돌아보면 이 미아 이사님의 인생에 있어서 어떤 의미 혹은 어떤 영향을 끼쳤을까요?
네, 봉사를 하다 보니까요, 제가 제 자신을 성찰하는 시간이 많아졌어요. 봉사가 항상 즐겁지만은 않아요. 사람들의 질투가 되기도 하고 남의 입에 오르기도 하지만은 그것에 집중하지 않고 제가 무엇을 해야 될지 거기에 많은 집중을 하다 보니까 삶의 방향이 생기고 또 AWC를 25년을 하다가 보니까는요, 뭐라 그럴까, 제가 소속감, 제가 제 가정이라는 둘레를 나와서 소속감이 생겼어요. 저는 AWC의 많은 이사님들이 저에게 친구가 되어지고 언니가 되어지고 또 저희 파운딩 멤버들은 저희한테는 큰 롤 모델이 되어주셔서 정말 제 삶이 진짜 정말로 많이 풍요롭고 기쁘고 즐거웠습니다.
네, 이렇게 짧게 인터뷰를 한번 이제 해봤는데요.
네.
감사드리고 계속해서 앞으로도 봉사활동 이어나가시면 좋겠고요. 우리 혹시 영어권 또 스피커들 또 청중들을 위해서 짧게 한번 인사 말씀 마무리해 주세요.
Volunteerism is not something that you give. It is sharing with people. So volunteer is enriching your life, not just for your satisfaction, but you're sharing with the others. So sharing is always good. And life is too short to live just for yourself. So sharing enriches your life, it gives an abundance of happiness and self-assurance. 예, 그런 것 같아요.
네, 감사합니다. 감사합니다.
This time we'll show a short video from our AWCA medical missions trip last year, 2023, to Guatemala.
네, AWC에서는 2022년, 2023년 글로벌 리더십 프로그램의 일환으로 과테말라로 의료진과 학생들이 모두 볼런티어입니다. 과테말라로 의료 봉사를 다녀왔습니다. 2023년도에 과테말라 의료 봉사 비디오를 함께 보시겠습니다.
And now, at this time, we will have our last speaker, Cecilia Popst. Again, she came all the way from Missouri to speak to you guys today. She is an oncology nurse, and has been in practice for over 20 years. She's also been a medical missionary for 23 years. She has given her life's work to this dedicated effort, and we're just so thankful that she came with us the last couple years with the AWCA medical missions trip as well. So if you would give a warm round of applause for a welcome to Cecilia Popst.
오늘의 마지막 연사인데요. 세시 포브스트. 우리 세시는 간호사인데 종양학 전공 쪽에 간호사를 하고 있고요. 23년 동안 이렇게 의료 봉사팀으로 이제 수고를 해오셨는데 특별히 2022년, 2023년 AWC의 과테말라 그 미션 의료 봉사에 발런티어로 참여를 하셨고 오늘 세 분의 연사 가운데서 가장 멀리서 날아왔어요. 미주리주에서 5시간 비행기를 타고 오늘의 스피치를 위해서 날아오셨습니다. 여러분 다시 한번 뜨거운 박수로.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I have to tell you, I'm not a public speaker, but the reason I'm standing here is because I have great joy for mission work, and that's what motivates me to come and talk to you. Mission work, I call it, is a labor of love, because you go and serve people in other countries and people that you don't know, other cultures. A lot of them, all the countries that we go to are very poor countries. But when you go, you're called to go with the love of God, then you're serving for a purpose, for others to find Him. And that's, when I was born in Costa Rica, and when I was 18 years old, this is how I became a nurse. When I was 18 years old, I was hit by a car that broke my back. So I was in a body cast for 3 months. And then on Costa Rica, when you are in a hospital, you don't have your own room like you do here. You have 20 beds in the same room that you're sharing with patients. And then at that age, I couldn't walk. So the cry of my heart every day was that I couldn't get up and help them, the other patients that were with me. A lot of them were crying, and one lady next to me was dying. And that was, I believe, is when God called me to become a nurse. And because my desire was to get up and help. 16 years later is when I became a nurse. I came to the United States, trying to learn the language. I was married. I had 3 little kids. And, but I still had the intense desire to become a nurse. And I started nursing school. When I was on my first semester of nursing school, I was in another accident. I was hit, I was in a bike accident, and I hit my head. I, again, had decreased mobility of my legs. And I have I lost my short-term memory. So, and that time, my prayer was, Lord, if you want me to be a nurse, I'm gonna surrender all to you. And sure enough, I became a nurse. And when I graduated from nursing school, in the back of my picture, I wrote, by his grace and for his service. So 30 years of nursing has been that service for him with his love.
I had to tell you, I'm gonna go tell you a story on my first mission trip. I was invited to Venezuela in the year 2000, 24 years ago. I have been on mission trips ever since then for over 8 countries and many missions. I find in every mission field, we find God and we see Him at work. In this first mission trip I went, it was in the country of Venezuela, and we drove from Caracas to this small village of the Indians of the Arawak. And it was community that had a lot of men with inguinal hernias. So they couldn't work because they have these hernias. They developed these hernias for their work, because of the work. We work long hours. And one of the men in the community wanted his surgery done. All the surgeries, we did about 25 hernia repairs. And it was all very successful. It was all done under local anesthesia, and very successful, very simple procedure, even in that environment. We were working on a church with no walls. That's the procedures were done there. So here comes this man, Harris. His name is Harris, and he wanted his surgery done. And sure enough, but he was very nervous, kind of like I am right now. He was very nervous, but anyway, he still wanted his surgery done. He wanted to continue working. So the surgeon, sure enough, we have him on the table. It was like in front of a church, and we had him on the table. And the surgeon did this incision, very small incision. But Harris was so nervous that we experienced a great emergency. His intestines, through that incision, all came out. There were, I don't know, it said 15 feet of intestines came out. And they were all on his belly. I won't go into detail on that. But the surgeon, the dentist, they were all trying to work out to put him back in the belly. And some of the doctors were frantic. They were saying, and the nurses were saying, this man is going to die. But in that moment, I experienced such a presence of the Lord, such a presence of God, that I knew that he was not going to die, because God was going to save him. So I started praying for him, and he was awake. He's awake through all this, because we didn't have anything else. So I would pray for him. I would sing songs to him. I would say, no, Harris, you're not going to die. God is going to bring victory over this. And because he also could hear the nurses saying he's going to die. So in that moment, I have never experienced this experience of having the reassurance that God was there. And he told me, he said to me, not audible, but he would just say, I am in control. I am in total control of this. Don't be afraid. Don't be frightened, because I'm not surprised by this. There is a purpose on this. So in that church, there was a crucifix in the front of the church. And when I was looking at his belly, you know, all these intestines out, and I look at the cross, and God said, keep your eyes on me. Do not look at the circumstances. Just keep your eyes on me. And sure enough, I did. I have never really experienced, and even in the midst of this horrible thing happening, I never experienced such a peace and a joy because my God was with me in there. So that was my first mission trip, and I never stopped since. Because in every time I went on the mission trip, I always saw his presence acting. I always see the reality of who he is, his compassion for humanity, his love for people. When we go into poor countries, you'll be surprised how little they have in material things. But even I went in Cuba a couple years ago, and you know the people have been very oppressed by the government. But I never experienced people so happy and so joyful because they have God. They didn't really need anything else. So it has been a delight for me being a nurse. I take care of cancer patients. Sometimes during the year, I get a little antsy because I don't have a mission coming up. Because I want to go. And I guess God keeps reinforcing to me that my mission field is also at home, taking care of my cancer patients. I just want to finish with a Bible verse. It's from Matthew 9:38. It says the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. So pray for workers to go into the field. This experience I had of connecting with God so beautiful that even this morning when I woke up at 5, and it's like God was saying, get up, I want to spend time with you. How could I refuse? He invited me to spend time with him. So this experience, I don't believe, it's not just for me. I think we could all have that and experience his love that he has for you and his peace and joy that you can enjoy knowing him. What happened with Harris? Oh, Harris. Oops, I forgot about it. No, I'm sorry. So Harris, I'm sorry, I kind of got derailed over there for a minute. Harris, the surgeons were able, after 3 hours he had to make a different incision, had to put all his intestines back in. He put them back in. We took him to a hospital 2 hours away from this community. Then the next day, we left him there. The next day we called, he was eating, he had no fever, no signs of infection. And the beautiful thing is that a year later, when we went back, who comes to receive us? It was Harris. And I told him, I say, you're just a testimony of God's victory. In the field of that fighting for his life, it was more of a fight of a spiritual life, fighting in a situation of life and death. And God brought him to victory. So, thank you.
Thank you. And as this is a worship song, a lot of people love this song I've heard before today. So I invite you to all worship with me if you know the lyrics to the song. I love you, Lord. Oh, your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hand. From the moment that I wake up until I lay the goodness of God. And all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice, for you have led me through the fire and darkest night. You were close like no other. I've known you as a father, I've known you as a friend. Oh, I have lived in the goodness of God. And all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life, and all my life you have been faithful. Yes, you have. And all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. Oh, your goodness is running out, it's running after me. Your goodness is running out, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I'm surrendered now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running out, it's running after me. Oh, your goodness is running out, it's running after me. Your goodness is running out, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I'm surrendered now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. And all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. Oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. Yes, I will sing of the goodness